writing poetry, it was strictly English. But now over time, I have developed a liking for Setswana literature, Setswana poetry. So you find that I infuse my poems with a lot of Setswana, with a lot of different other languages. So yeah, it's an exciting turn for me. I think one of the, I wouldn't call it biggest challenge, but one of the challenges that poets, including myself, find is that you really have to find your footing in terms of the economical aspect. You know, people around you will use this thing. They don't really regard it much. They'll say, they don't really see it as something they can invest into. So another thing is social media. You know, you really have to be careful with your social media. I was unfortunate enough to be hacked in one of my accounts, and they posted the wrong things. And from that, after they reported the pages, I lost everything. I lost my followers, and to bounce back from that, I had to create everything from scratch. And now we're building from the ground up. Get the club going up on a Tuesday, right up to the other Tuesday in the name of turn up and fun. Clinging to Mary Jane, crack, pot, cocaine, consistently esteeming them over all the right things. Young people born tigers, walking among cats. Young people born eagles, walking among chickens, baffled by foolish monetary gain, on about blessings and blessings. Ever since I heard of this nonsense, I shake my head in my self-decided innocence like, are we still heading towards excellence? I infuse social or status quo or things that are currently happening into my poems as a way of maybe motivating, as a way of educating, as a way of just finding maybe a witty niche amongst the poems that I give. So I do infuse current affairs into my poems. They really greatly influence my poems. There has been quite a number of highlights, but one that really stood out for me was when I was receiving an award for Best Poet. They used to host this annual Northern Arts Awards in Francistown. I was staying at Francistown at the time. So I got handed this trophy by Mr. Taolo Mashaka, a man who I really adore. I love his work ethic. I love his personality. So I got handed that trophy, and it was a very humbling experience for me. I think poetry is one of the very powerful tools of passing a message. It doesn't pride itself in only its entertaining aspect, but like I said, poetry can be used to motivate, it can be used to teach, it can be used to, the young people, because it has that pulling in effect. Yes, it has that allure, So pretty much, yeah. Actually, I think Botswana is a very rich and unexplored territory in terms of its people and its culture. And I still want to do a little bit of my research, especially on the languages. I want to write, I want to explore the languages of Botswana. There are many people, especially women also, who have done their firsts, the likes of Bopegi Serame. I want to look into such people and write about them, There's a lot that I would like to delve into. One thing that I strive to have in my poems is an element of motivation, like I previously stated. Most of my poems have a God factor. I think I also mentioned that I'm a Christian girl. So I lace them. No matter how strict and straightforward the poem may be, I aim to have just a tad bit of motivation in my poems. So I believe they encourage people in that aspect. My favorite poem is a poem, I'm going to use her name again, by Nokotemba Mchunu. She says, God is a brand. That lady played with words like nobody's business. I like the creative way that she approached the poem. It's such an incredible poem, and I think it will live for generations and generations to come. I love a poem that I wrote. It's called This Light. I wrote it for the presidential competitions for 2016. I happened to attain position 2 with it. I just love the wordplay. You know, there was a lot of tongue twisters, a lot of flow, an element of rap in it. So even today when I perform that poem, I feel like the only poet in the world. It's an incredible poem. I hope to perform it for you sometime. Picture 279 days. 279 days where bones lift and organs shift to make room for you and I, the future generation. Because when we are born, it's appreciation to Mother Nature now. July 21st, 1962 presented. Morase tlhomo wa go masisi ya mogotsi ya jwang a diale a mongala a sa uko go tshaba di le banye go sebata sa kgorotlha go le gong le rata ke beng ba lekgotla.